Part 26. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Ken Ryu Xiahua. Chapter 251. Hee, just right. I hope classmate Lucia can find many girlfriends in the future, and they are not the same every week. Tisk tisk, Lao Lu, you are really bold, and you are not the same every week. Do you want Xiaofu, Yuji, goddess, lowly, auntie, rich woman, foreign girl, all to come to you once? Lucia's eyes lit up, as if opening the door to a new world, and nodded suddenly. Brother Yuan, sure, if you can really come to me once, I will follow you in the future. Let me go east, I will never go west, let me stand guard, I will never peek. Damn, you Lao Lu, the king of strong mouths must be you, and you are not afraid of your kidneys being tired and offline. Li Yuan laughed and cursed, and suddenly an idea came to his mind. It seems that it is not very difficult to do these. Don't go too far, in many clubs in Shanghai, you can enjoy all kinds of types, and it doesn't cost much. It's only 2008 now, and the control of the special service industry by the state is not comparable to that later. Let Lucia, the sixth brother, experience it himself. It seems not bad. He can also recognize a younger brother. In the next period of time, he will definitely focus on business. The construction of his website, milk tea shop, games, and even takeaways must be done. There is a great shortage of manpower. University classmates and high school classmates like Lucia, Wu Hao, Wang Shui, and Su Ji who have a good relationship can also be mobilized. A hero has 3 helpers. In this era, or any era, there must be some confidence around. Lucia replied excitedly, Godfather, it's settled. I have an indestructible kidney. Li Yuan curled his lips, haha, don't be a 3-second man. 3-second man, how can it be possible? It takes me at least an hour. That's what they say when they go out of the south. Find a girlfriend first. Brother Yuan, you have to kill people and destroy their hearts. The signing time took nearly an hour before and after, and hundreds of readers in the audience completed all the signatures. Li Yuan stood up, rubbed his slightly sore wrist, and said to himself that he would never attend such a book signing again. Wu Wenhui went on stage and looked at the audience who were still full. Dear readers, thank you for your support for Yuandian Chinese Network and Xiahua. Today's book signing ends here. The first simplified book of Battle Starry Sky will also be officially released nationwide today. It can be purchased in bookstores in various regions. Thank you for the support of all readers and friends. I wish you all a happy National Day and good luck. Goodbye. As soon as Wu Wenhui finished speaking, the whole audience, led by some people, burst into deafening cheers again. Xiahua, we want to listen to the song. Xiahua, we want to listen to the song. Xiahua, we want to listen to the song. The voices in the audience became louder and louder, deafening, resounding through the sky, and they stood up and shouted in unison. The reason why they did not leave after signing was not for this moment. Who doesn't want to listen to a free live concert? Wu Wenhui, Zheng Kaimo, and Fang Jueqing on the stage also found it funny. Because of his daughter, Zheng Kaimo specially listened to Li Yuan's song yesterday and said with a smile, Xiahua, the readers at the scene don't want to leave, how about you sing a song? Fang Jueqing stared at Li Yuan and smiled secretly, yes, Xiahua, I also want to listen to your song. There are also sound equipment and background music on the scene today. It's okay to hold a simple concert. Li Yuan was speechless and was about to refuse. Suddenly, he saw Xiao Yuer's figure in the distance appear again, and he was quietly looking at him behind the stage. The two people's eyes met briefly. Less than 50 meters away, Li Yuan could clearly see the tears on Zhang Xiao's face. Li Yuan suddenly felt a pain in his heart. This was the first time he saw Xiao Yuer like this. Fang Jueqing's eyes had been staring at Li Yuan. Seeing that Li Yuan's expression was not right, he followed Li Yuan's eyes and saw Zhang Xiao's figure. A love story suddenly emerged in her mind. Zhang Xiao cried, and suddenly smiled, showing Li Yuan a sweet and sad smile, as if saying goodbye to this relationship. Brother Xiahua, I'm sorry, Xiao Yuer is leaving you. Zhang Xiao whispered softly, turned around and was about to leave. Suddenly, she heard a voice. I have a song, I want to give it to a girl at the scene, and say sorry to her. Zhang Xiao's figure trembled, stopped, and tears fell. A strong voice in her heart urged her to listen to what Li Yuan had to say. Lucia, Wu Hao, Wang Zhirong, Nuan Yang, and other classmates and book friends in the audience, Wu Wenhui, Zheng Kaimo, Fang Jueqing and others on the stage, all cast their eyes on the weak figure in the audience. Shocking news, this beautiful girl, is she Xiaohua's girlfriend? Xiaohua is finally going to sing, is she moved by us? It's a good idea. There is obviously a story here. Xiaohua is saying sorry. Could it be that Xiaohua did something to offend his girlfriend? Fan Yani looked at Zhang Xiao's figure and curiously touched Wang Zhirong, who was in a daze. Wrong, is this girl the one who sang with Li Yuan? From the back, she is very beautiful and has a good temperament. But doesn't Li Yuan already have Xia's hygiene? Why is he involved with other girls? Wang Zhirong glanced at Fan Yani strangely, thinking to himself, if you knew that Li Yuan had a girlfriend in the Finance Institute, would you be shocked? On the stage, Li Yuan ignored the gazes of others and just stared at Zhang Xiao's figure. He didn't know whether he and Zhang Xiao would meet again after this separation. He didn't have the face to take the initiative to go to Jida to meet her again. So, he acted impulsively. Seeing Zhang Xiao stop, Li Yuan kept staring at her figure, picked up the Huadong microphone, and spoke seriously. Xiao Yuer, I still owe you a song. I want to sing it to you here and say sorry to you. After Li Yuan finished speaking, he saw Zhang Xiao's body tremble suddenly and almost fell to the ground. The whole audience was silent, and everyone's eyes kept switching between Li Yuan and Zhang Xiao. Li Yuan picked up the microphone and spoke affectionately. This was the first time in his 2 lifetimes that he sang this song so seriously. We cried. We smiled. We looked up at the sky. A few stars were still shining. Because I just happened to meet you. Leaving footprints is beautiful. The wind blows the flowers and tears fall like rain. Because I don't want to separate. As soon as Li Yuan opened his mouth, even without accompaniment or background music, just singing alone, the readers at the scene were moved. Wow, this song is so nice, I feel like I'm about to cry. Is this the strength of Xiahua, another classic and beautiful original song? That girl should be Xianke in the group. This is the song Xiahua wrote for her, and he said sorry to her. What happened between them? Hurry up and record it with your phone. I have already expected it. This will definitely be a classic moment in the future. You don't need me to tell you. When Xiahua just said the first sentence, I had already recorded it with my camera. Brother Yuan is so talented. I feel that this song is better than Confession Balloon and No Makeup. You see, Brother Yuan seems to be crying while singing, and there seems to be tears in his eyes. As the heroine, Zhang Xiao, listening to the song sung by Li Yuan, has already burst into tears and her body is constantly shaking. On the stage, Li Yuan has no other thoughts, but just staring at Zhang Xiao, with a trace of crystal tears in the corner of his eyes, singing the song sincerely. He has a feeling in his heart that this will be the last time he and Xiao Yuer meet. Since writing the book in July, the two have known each other online and met in real life for nearly 3 months. If you say that there is no emotion, it is a lie. Before, because of Zhang Xiao's identity, he always dared not get too close, but when he was about to lose her, he suddenly realized that the other party had already walked into his heart unknowingly and left an important position. Li Yuan stared at Zhang Xiao's figure and continued to sing affectionately. Because I don't want to separate. Because I just met you. Leave 10 years of expectations. If we meet again, I think I will remember you. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Ken Ryu Xiahua. Chapter 252. As soon as Li Yuan finished singing, the audience burst into warm applause, and everyone looked at Zhang Ziyu, waiting for her response. Zhang Ziyu turned around quietly with red and swollen eyes, looked at Li Yuan, and suddenly put on a faint smile on her tear-stained face and spoke softly. Brother Xiahua, what is the name of this song? Although Zhang Ziyu's voice was very soft, Li Yuan heard it very clearly. Although they were separated by a distance of dozens of meters, the two seemed to have a telepathic connection. Li Yuan stared at the elf girl in front of him and answered seriously. Xiao Yuer, this song is called Just Met You, I want to give it to you. Thank you, Xiao Yuer, I'm glad to meet you. Zhang Ziyu listened to Li Yuan's answer and murmured to herself, Just Met You, what a beautiful song, what a beautiful name, what a beautiful story. The scenes since she met Li Yuan appeared in her mind again, and she couldn't help laughing again. As she laughed, she cried again. The first song Li Yuan wrote for her was called Confession Balloon, which was like the feeling when the two people just met, ignorant and immature, full of expectation, confessing to him again and again, showing her feelings to him. The second song he wrote was called Nu Yan, just like the lyrics show, the happy time of the two people on the campus of Jida University. The last song was called Just Met You, which was used on this occasion today, more like a summary of the feelings of the two people. Happy to meet, sad to leave. Zhang Ziyu stared at Li Yuan on the stage, crying and laughing, Brother Xiahua, I am also very happy to meet you, and I like this song very much. Zhang Ziyu paused, looked at Li Yuan deeply, as if making a final farewell. Goodbye, Brother Xiahua. After saying that, in the shocked eyes of the audience, he turned around and left the scene, and got on the black Rolls-Royce parked on the side of the road. Zhang Ziyu, who got in the car, could no longer hold back his emotions, and hugged his legs pitifully and helplessly, sobbing loudly there. Brother Xiahua, I really don't want to leave you. Li Yuan on the stage, watching Zhang Ziyu leave in a car, suddenly felt empty in his heart, as if he had suddenly been drained of his energy, and his eyes were dim. Seeing Li Yuan's distraught look, Wu Wenhui, Zheng Kaimo, Fang Jueqing and others looked at each other, not knowing what to say. They all knew that Li Yuan's relationship with the girl just now must be very unusual, and there was a story behind it. And from today's scene, the ending of the story does not seem to be very good. Wu Wenhui broke the silence at the scene and stood up. Ahem, thank you Xiahua for bringing us a very nice new song Just Met You. I hope we will have the opportunity to hear it in the future. I also hope that all the friends present here will see the rainbow after the storm, live up to their original aspirations and themselves. Today's book signing event has come to a successful conclusion. Thank you for your support. Thank you. Chapter 168 The Unexpected Encounter Between Zhong Tingyu and Bai Wuxi. Li Yuan has been standing on the stage, staring blankly at the direction where Zhang Ziyu disappeared. All he could think of was the scene where she was crying and smiling just now. Humans are animals that only know how to cherish when they lose something. When they are favored, they are fearless. He once thought that the girl he would be most willing to let go of would be Zhang Ziyu. But now he found that it seemed that this was not the case. This playful, cute, lively, and beautiful girl who had once had eyes for him really chose to leave him. He didn't even have a chance to explain. Li Yuan was lost, as if he had lost his soul, and stood blankly on the stage. In the audience, the book friends who knew the inside story have started to gossip and speculate crazily. Xiahua and Xiang Cai, what is going on with them? Did they just break up? We just knew they were together, but in the blink of an eye, we witnessed the scene of their breakup. This is too magical. There must be a hidden story that we don't know about. What did Xiahua do to offend Xiang Cai? Even a grown man like me, my gossipy soul was aroused. This song is called Just Met You. Is it also an original song by Xiahua? It's really super nice, but it sounds a little sad. I saw Miss Xiang Cai crying and leaving. I feel a little sorry in my heart. I can see that Xiahua and Xiang Cai love each other very much. Why do they want to break up? Yes, Xiahua is really tall, handsome, and talented, and Miss Xiang is also very elegant and beautiful. They are a perfect match. After hearing Li Yuan sing Just Met You and witnessing the scene with their own eyes, no one of the book friends in the audience left. They all sat there, talking in low voices, and from time to time they looked at Li Yuan, who was standing on the stage in a daze. Lu Jia and his friends were closest to Li Yuan, only 5 or 6 meters away, and they could clearly see the crystal tears in Li Yuan's eyes. Sixth brother, Xiaoqiang, should we go up and comfort brother Yuan? Wu Hao asked in a low voice. Lu Jia shook his head slightly and sighed in a low voice, although I don't know what happened between brother Yuan and her, it must be a bad thing. It's useless to persuade him now, so let him think it through himself. Su Ziqiang muttered, what do you think? Is it that brother Yuan has been found out about having multiple relationships? After this, Lu Jia and Wu Hao looked at each other and had a hunch that this was probably the truth. It was already known to the whole class that Li Yuan was dating Xia's Haijin. It would be easy to find out if one inquired carefully. Jida was not far from Xiada. Since the other party could come once, he could come twice, 3 times, or 4 times. Lu Jia thought about Li Yuan's current situation, and suddenly shuddered, and spoke meaningfully. Ahem, I suddenly feel that men should be more loyal. Wu Hao nodded, brother Yuan is a little fickle, but he just made the same mistake that we men would make. Xia's Haijin is very beautiful and excellent, and the girl just now is also very beautiful. It is normal for brother Yuan to like them both. Su Ziqiang sighed, if you often walk by the river, you will get your shoes wet. Brother Yuan, with such a high level, can't handle 2 girlfriends, let alone us. Wang Zhurong appeared behind the 3 of them at some point and interrupted them. What if there are more than 2? Lu Jia frowned and glanced at Wang Zhurong, his heart pounding. He had always known that Wang Zhurong had never given up pursuing Li Yuan. Wrong, what do you mean? Wang Zhurong ignored Lu Jia, but stared at Li Yuan on the stage, thinking about how to win this charming man. She had been in love before, and knew clearly that Li Yuan was the saddest and most vulnerable at this time. As long as she attacked boldly and took advantage of the opportunity, she would have a great chance of success. Li Yuan in this state is really pitiful. I want to hold him in my arms and take good care of him. Wang Zhurong muttered to herself. Lu Jia and Wu Hao looked at each other. This big bear girl started to be crazy again. On the stage. Xiahua, are you okay? Fang Jueqing came over and patted Li Yuan's shoulder gently. Li Yuan came back to his senses from his memories, looked at Fang Jueqing's concerned look, and smiled faintly. Sister Fang, I'm fine. It's good that you're fine. Don't keep some things in your heart. Just speak them out. Maybe it's a misunderstanding. I think your girlfriend still loves you very much. It's normal for girls to lose their temper. Sometimes you boys need to take the initiative to coax them. Don't make it so awkward. Fang Jueqing played the role of intimate big sister and persuaded and comforted her. Li Yuan felt helpless when he heard it. It would be great if it was as easy as the other party said. This is impossible. It's not a quarrel between lovers because of a small conflict. This is a matter of principle. No matter in any era, playing with multiple people is despised. He doesn't even have the courage and reason to explain now. Zhang Ziyu is a little love-brained, but it doesn't mean he's stupid. If he wants to persuade her, he can only cut off contact with other girls. But just like when he faced Zhong Tingyu, can he do it? He still can't do it. Li Yuan looked at Fang Jueqing seriously and thanked her. Thank you, Sister Fang. I'll consider it. I'm glad you understand. Fang Jueqing saw that Li Yuan seemed to really listen to her, and the smile on his face became even deeper. Xiahua, the song Just Met You just sang is really nice. I suggest that you register the relevant copyright as soon as possible, and then go to a professional recording studio to record it. You can definitely release your own music album. It will definitely sell well and make millions easily. Li Yuan smiled. He didn't pay much attention to this before. Fang Jueqing's words reminded him that the copyright of some songs should be handled in advance. At this time, Zheng Kaimo and Wu Wenhui also came over. Zheng Kaimo looked at Li Yuan and invited him warmly. Xiahua, it's noon, let's have lunch together. He is very optimistic about Li Yuan's future. The online article he wrote is the best-selling book ranked first on the internet today. Coupled with his achievements in music, there is no need to add fuel to the fire. It will become completely popular and form a superimposed multiplier effect. It can be predicted that the book Battle of the Stars will definitely sell well, and as the publisher, their publishing house can obtain a large profit, at least tens of millions. It can be said that just based on the young man in front of him, it is enough for Fang Zheng Publishing House to make a lot of money this year. Li Yuan did not refuse. They are all partners. If SUOSI Publishing makes money, he can also get a lot of share. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 253. According to the agreement, after deducting the printing cost of the books, the sales profit income is distributed according to 2:2:6. Founder Publishing House accounts for 20% of the profit, Origin Chinese Network accounts for 20%, and he accounts for 60%. If there is a sales profit of 10 million, he can get 6 million in income. According to market estimates, the sales volume of the first part of Battle of the Stars will definitely reach 1 million levels, and the total profit will be in the tens of millions. Wu Wenhui looked at the fans who had not left the audience and reminded, Xiahua, please tell the fans below and let them go back. Li Yuan nodded. Pick up the phone and look at the faces with various expressions in the audience. Thank you all friends for your support, Xiahua is grateful. All procedures for today's autograph session have been completed. Li Yuan leaned over and thanked him. As soon as Li Yuan finished speaking, someone in the audience asked questions loudly. Xiahua, when will you hold a concert? We want to go to it. Li Yuan was speechless in his heart, but with the same smile on his face, he slowly said, let's wait and see in the future. Now I just want to finish writing the book Battle of the Stars seriously. As soon as Li Yuan finished answering this question, someone else immediately asked another question. Xiahua, will you release a music album with songs such as Confession Balloon, No Makeup, and Just Met You? If you want to send it, I will sign up to be the first to buy it. Li Yuan smiled, feeling that he was becoming less and less engaged in his duties, and was going further and further down the road of being a civil servant. I will consider it in the future. I have been learning musical instruments recently and want to improve my music level first. As soon as Li Yuan finished answering, another reader raised his hand and stood up, wanting to continue asking. Li Yuan felt a little weird. This style of painting looked like a press conference. He quickly pretended not to see it and ended today's interview. Ahem, dear friends, today's autograph session ends here. Thank you all. After speaking, Li Yuan gestured to Lucia and Wu Hao, and then left directly with Zheng Model and Wu Wenhui. When Wang Zhirong saw Li Yuan leaving directly with the others, he stamped his feet angrily. Damn it, Li Yuan, are you really not giving me a chance? On the morning of the last day of the National Day holiday, Gu Langzhen drove a red Beetle and brought Zhong Tingyu to the Magic City. Little Moon, don't go back to school yet, take your mother for a walk around the city. Zhong Tingyu looked haggard and replied absently, Mom, I'm not in the mood. Little Moon, Mom knows you feel uncomfortable, and I don't want to educate you. I just hope you can look forward. There are no obstacles in this world that you can't overcome. Gu Langzhen said and asked casually. Last time you said, where do you live? Zhong Tingyu frowned slightly and didn't want to answer, Mom, why do you ask? Gu Langzhen coughed and replied as expected, I'm going to spend a few days in the Magic City to experience the feeling of a big city and accompany you by the way. Now that I'm in the Magic City, I have to have a place to stay. Zhong Tingyu asked in confusion, isn't it okay to stay in a hotel? Gu Langzhen shook her head, the hotel is not clean and inconvenient. Don't you have a ready-made house in Shanghai? Mom will stay here for a few days and feel comfortable at home. Zhong Tingyu frowned, glanced at Gu Langzhen, and nodded gently. The Fairview Villa next to our school. Hearing her daughter's answer, Gu Langzhen smiled secretly in her heart. She was also doing it for her baby daughter's good. My daughter obviously has a deep love for Li Yuan. Her eyes have been swollen from crying in the past few days, and she cannot let go easily. Moreover, her impression of Li Yuan was quite good. Apart from being a bit of a carefree person, she had no shortcomings. And she knows that playfulness is a common problem among all rich men. A man who doesn't care either doesn't have enough money in his wallet or it's not time yet. Even if you don't bother when you are young, when your wife is old, you will still be unable to help but go out and try new things. A man is a young man until he dies, and he is only honest when he is hung on the wall. She firmly believes that. Besides, it's not like my daughter has no chance of becoming the first wife. After a while, under Zhong Tingyu's guidance, Gu Langzhen drove the car into the Jinxia Villa community. After getting out of the car, Gu Langzhen looked at the community and nodded secretly. Little Moon, this community looks pretty good. It is a high-end community with good greening and a good environment inside the community. By the way, Little Moon, where is the Porsche 911 that Li Yuan bought for you? Zhong Tingyu glanced at Gu Langzhen speechlessly, and said angrily, in the underground parking lot. Gu Langzhen asked with a slightly excited tone, are the car keys with you or with Li Yuan? Zhong Tingyu already understood Gu Langzhen's intention and replied impatiently, Mom, the key is with me. Just say what you want to say. Ahem, Gu Langzhen smiled awkwardly and bluntly stated her intention. Little Moon, Mom has never driven a Porsche sports car in her life. Can we try it together later? Zhong Tingyu hesitated slightly, then nodded in response to her mother's expectant gaze. Gu Langzhen has always had this character. Gu Langzhen said excitedly, let's go directly to the underground parking lot. Zhong Tingyu sighed helplessly, Mom, the car keys are at home. Besides, you just drove for 2 hours, aren't you tired? Haha, you're not tired, then go home first. The mother and daughter carried their suitcases and walked towards home. As soon as they entered the house, Gu Langzhen saw the men's slippers on the shoe rack. She was sure that her daughter had lived with Li Yuan. This was not unexpected. Li Yuan had bought his daughter a sports car worth millions. If the relationship was not to her heart's content, this would be impossible. Gu Langzhen carefully looked at the layout of the room and nodded secretly. The area was not small. The area of the suite was about 140 square meters, with 4 bedrooms and 1 living room. Although it was not a luxury house, it was enough. In terms of area alone, it was about the same size as her house in Sicheng. But this is the Magic City. The price and appreciation space of the house are much higher than that of Sicheng. Little Moon, show me your Porsche car keys and vehicle registration certificate, so that Mom can learn more. Zhong Tingyu replied impatiently, Mom, why are you looking at that? Gu Langzhen smiled, is it okay for Mom to be curious? Hurry up. Okay, Zhong Tingyu was helpless and had to satisfy her mother's special hobby. Because the Porsche 911 was directly registered under Zhong Tingyu's name, Li Yuan gave the vehicle registration certificate to Zhong Tingyu. A moment later, Zhong Tingyu handed Gu Langzhen an exquisite bag with the Porsche logo. Mom, everything is here. I'm going to return the car to him in a few days. Gu Langzhen was about to open it when she heard Zhong Tingyu's words. Her hands trembled and she subconsciously wanted to scold. But seeing her daughter looking at the living room with tears in her eyes, she knew that she was thinking of someone when she saw the things, and swallowed the words that were on her lips. She muttered to herself, my silly girl, if you return it, you will lose both your money and your life. Sometimes you have to fight for what you should fight for. Love is not equal to material things, but sweet love also needs certain material things to guarantee it. Fortunately I came with you, otherwise this silly girl would have returned the sports car and other gifts from Li Yuan, and Xiaoyu would have suffered a great loss. Gu Langzhen played with the Porsche car keys for a while, and then looked at the vehicle registration certificate, which did indeed have her daughter's name written on it. Immediately, she felt relieved. From this, it can be seen that Li Yuan is still very good to his daughter. He has only been together for a few days, but he gave her a luxury car and opened a store. He is much more generous than most rich people. He is indeed a rich generation who made his fortune on his own, and his future is limitless. Xiaoyu, I think this house is not bad, so just stay here for a few days. You are not going to chase your mother away, are you? Zhong Tingyu sighed helplessly. She already knew what her mother was planning and wanted to continue to match her with Li Yuan. But broken porcelain is still broken even if you try your best to maintain it. Mom, you can live here if you want. I live in school. Gu Langzhen was waiting for Zhong Tingyu to say this. As long as she agreed to live here, there would be plenty of opportunities in the future. Moreover, she really wanted to play in Shanghai for a few days. After staying in the house for a while, Gu Langzhen was eager to try the Porsche sports car. Xiaoyu, let's go for a drive first, and then have lunch. Mom is hungry. Well, whatever you want is fine. Zhong Tingyu handed the car keys to Gu Langzhen. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 254. Okay, let's go now. Without saying a word, Gu Langzhen pulled Zhong Tingyu and walked towards the elevator. Arriving at the underground garage, the mother and daughter came to the Porsche sports car. Looking at the brand new Porsche 911 sports car, Gu Langzhen became even more excited. She excitedly opened the passenger door and quickly got in. When Zhong Tingyu saw this, she couldn't help being speechless. Mom, aren't you going to drive for a drive? How can you sit in the passenger seat? Gu Langzhen replied matter-of-factly, drive it out first, and then teach me how to operate it. All right. After getting on the road, after a while, it was Gu Langzhen who drove the car, feeling the attention of passers-by on the road. She suddenly felt that driving a sports car was really great. Just like when she drove a Beetle with a distinctive personality, no one looked at her while walking on the road. But it was completely different when she switched to a sports car. Little Moon, a sports car is more comfortable to drive. If you don't want to drive it, Mom will drive it for you. Mom, this is the car he bought. I want to return it to him. Did he ask you for it? No. Did he say it was given to you? Then why did you give it back to him? Because. Just as Zhong Tingyu wanted to say that the two had broken up, she was directly interrupted by Gu Langzhen. Little Moon, listen to Mom's advice, don't make a decision easily at any time, give yourself a buffer time. But, he and my roommate. So what? You still love him, and he still loves you. That's enough. What does your love have to do with other people? Mom, these are all fallacies. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Haha, let's not talk about it then. Let's go for a drive first. This sports car is so cool when you drive it. Jinxia Villa Community. Biwixie held Lizixia's little hand, holding a large bag of various snacks. Zixia, if you have a holiday in the future, tell me in advance and I will come to see you. Lizixia said with a smile, okay, Sister Wei 11, I also want to play with you. You don't even know that my brother is very harsh on me. I am not allowed to eat snacks, not allowed to play on the computer, not allowed to when I went shopping. They forced me to study every day and told me that I was getting fat, even though I was clearly growing. Lizixia started complaining again, and she discovered a blind spot. As long as she complained about her brother in front of Xiaozhaijin and Biwixie, she would always make them laugh. Biwixie couldn't help laughing and touched Lizixia's little head. Ahem, your brother is really strict with you. Zixia, you don't know, when we were in high school, he would bring me snacks every day, and it was still like that. It's a snack that can easily gain weight. I'm speechless. He doesn't seem to know that girls need to stay in shape. Lizixia said sadly, Sister Wei 11, my brother is so kind to you. When he was in high school, he was not willing to buy me snacks. At most, he would buy me some instant noodles and spicy strips. Your brother is indeed very nice to me. Biwixie smiled sweetly and winked at Lizixia. Zixia, I will treat you well from now on. If your brother bullies you again, I will judge you. Lizixia quickly agreed, holding Biwixie's arm, and replied with a smile, okay, Sister Wixie, next time my brother bullies me again, I will come to you for judgment. You don't even know that my brother is so domineering now. My parents don't even dare to say anything about him. He just talks at home. Zixia, uncle and aunt, when will you return to the Magic City? My dad is probably still early. My mom should be back in the next 2 days. Biwixie asked nervously, Zixia, do you think my uncle and aunt won't like me? Lizixia's heart suddenly dawned. She knew that her parents had already met sister-in-law's Haijin and recognized her. There was suddenly another daughter-in-law, and Lizixia couldn't imagine what it would be like. Lizixia couldn't help feeling a little distressed when she saw Biwixie's worried and nervous look. These two sisters-in-law were really nice, and she liked them both. Haha, Sister Wei 11, you are so gentle and beautiful, you are a famous college student, and you are my brother's high school classmate. My parents will definitely be 100% satisfied with you. There is no need to worry at all. Biwixie felt relieved, but still a little nervous. As the saying goes, a daughter-in-law always wants to see her parents-in-law. She was very anxious about that day. Zixia, what are your hobbies, auntie, and what do you like to eat? The two people were walking when suddenly, a pair of figures walked towards them. Lizixia looked at the mother and daughter in front of her, her eyes lit up, and she couldn't help but say so beautiful in her heart, but why did the girl who was more beautiful than the big star have such a weird expression? Suddenly, Biwixie's surprised voice came to Lizixia's ears. Tingyu, what a coincidence. I recommend a book called Seedlings. If you are interested, you can read it. Chapter 169, Best Friend Turns into Love Rival, Biwixie Collapses. Biwixie has not been back to school recently, and has no contact with several roommates. She has been playing with her parents in and around the city without knowing the real situation. At this time, when I saw Zhong Tingyu in Jinxia Villa Community, I was naturally very curious and immediately greeted him with a smile on his face. But Zhong Tingyu opposite her was different. She knew the truth of the matter and had been crying about it for several days. After meeting Biwixie, Li Yuan's girlfriend in high school and her college roommate, she looked very unnatural. The first thought in her mind was, Biwuxi, didn't she know the current situation? Otherwise, she shouldn't have this attitude when she saw me. After all, to some extent, I was the third party between Biwuxi and Li Yuan. She looked at Biwuxi's space and messages in detail, and knew that Biwuxi and Li Yuan had been dating in high school. Zhong Tingyu forced a smile on her cheek and responded. Wuxi, what a coincidence. Biwuxi hadn't seen Zhong Tingyu for more than a week. When they met, she looked carefully and found that Zhong Tingyu's eyes were a little red and swollen, and her expression was very haggard and pale. She was far from being as bright and beautiful as before, as if she had cried. Biwuxi hurried forward and asked with concern, Tingyu, you don't look very well, did you encounter anything? Zhong Tingyu was stunned, and looked at her roommate who cared about her sincerely. She didn't know how to answer. If she knew the truth of the matter, how would the two get along? She didn't know the answer either. At this time, Gu Langzhen smiled and said, Xiao Yu, who are these two? Before Zhong Tingyu answered, Biwuxi smiled and spoke. Auntie, Tingyu and I are college roommates and good friends. Zhong Tingyu was stunned and looked at Li Zixia, who was curiously looking at her. The other person's appearance was very familiar, very much like the same person, as if they were carved out of the same mold. Li Zixia was also looking at the very beautiful big sister in front of her. She always felt that the other person was familiar, as if she had heard this name somewhere, but she couldn't remember it for a while. Seeing that Zhong Tingyu had been staring at Li Zixia, Biwuxi smiled and took Li Zixia's hand and introduced. Tingyu, this is my boyfriend's sister, Li Zixia. After that, she introduced Zhong Tingyu on behalf of Li Zixia. Zixia, this beautiful sister is my college roommate Zhong Tingyu. After hearing Biwuxi's introduction, Zhong Tingyu's body trembled suddenly and she almost fell down. Gu Langzhen was quick to support her daughter. Biwuxi was puzzled as to why Zhong Tingyu had such a big reaction, and asked with concern. Tingyu, what's wrong with you? Are you feeling unwell? Zhong Tingyu was stunned and speechless, her mind was already a mess. No wonder she thought this little girl looked familiar, it turned out to be Li Yuan's sister. Looking at Biwuxi with a worried look on her face, she recalled the scene of Biwuxi and Li Zixia holding hands just now. It was obvious that the two had known each other for a long time and had a very close relationship. How ridiculous, Zhong Tingyu muttered to herself, and the light in her eyes completely dimmed. Since Biwuxi already knew Li Yuan's sister, and Li Yuan did not introduce his sister to her, this already explained the problem. What else can she fight for? What qualifications does she have to fight for? Biwuxi and Li Yuan have known each other since high school, and Li Yuan has been pursuing Biwuxi for 3 years. Now they have met their families, so what does she think of herself? If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 255. At this moment, Zhong Tingyu felt that the whole world had turned completely gray. Gu Langzhen held her daughter with one hand. When she heard the name Li Zixia and thought of her daughter's unusual reaction, she suddenly thought of a possibility. Could it be that Li Zixia is Li Yuan's sister? Thinking of this, Gu Langzhen took another deep look at Biwuxi. She was also very beautiful, even if not as beautiful as her daughter, but similar. Is this girl Li Yuan's other girlfriend? Is she also Xiao Yu's roommate? Gu Langzhen figured everything out. And with rich experience, it can be seen at a glance that Biwuxi obviously does not know the truth that the two people have the same boyfriend. Thinking that her daughter had been crying for Li Yuan for 3 days and 3 nights, she felt extremely distressed. When she looked at her daughter's love rival, her eyes became unkind. Gu Langzhen looked at the little girl who was somewhat similar to Li Yuan and asked gently. Zixia, is your brother's name Li Yuan? Well, my brother's name is Li Yuan. Li Zixia blinked playfully, feeling something unusual. How could this aunt dressed like a lady know her brother's name and ask such a question? After hearing Li Zixia's answer, Gu Langzhen confirmed that she had guessed correctly and that this was the truth of the matter. Like Zhong Tingyu, Gu Langzhen's mood was also constantly changing. Looking at Bai Wuxi and Li Zixia, she sighed quietly, shook her head secretly, but said nothing. Bai Wuxi looked incomprehensible. She had no idea what happened and why Zhong Tingyu and her mother reacted this way. Only Li Zixia blinked and looked at Zhong Tingyu. Such a beautiful sister reacted a little wrong when she saw herself and sister Wei 11. Because we have learned from the past, since we can ride on 2 boats, it is normal to step on a few more boats. This made her think of a terrible possibility. Li Zixia suddenly shuddered. He muttered to himself, his eyes widened with shock. Probably not. Please don't tell me that this beautiful sister in front of you is also the girlfriend of my scumbag brother. Am I going to have another sister-in-law? Sister-in-law's Haijin, sister-in-law Wuxi, plus this sister-in-law Tingyu, how can my brother Hida have 3 such beautiful girlfriends? There is also the person who often leaves messages on my brother's space, I love coriander, and he may have something to do with my brother. Thoughts came to Li Zixia's mind. Looking at the reactions of Zhong Tingyu and Gu Langzhen, she had a hunch that she might have guessed right. After taking a deep look at Zhong Tingyu, who looked haggard and looked like a sickly beauty, she suddenly felt that she was also very pitiful for meeting her scumbag brother. Li Zixia felt that she should say something. She said playfully, "Sister, do you also know my brother?" When Li Zixia said this, not only was Zhong Tingyu unexpected, but Bai Wuxi also looked at Li Zixia and Zhong Tingyu in confusion, with a bad premonition emerging in his heart. Zhong Tingyu looked at Li Zixia, whose face was still very young, but already had the appearance of a beautiful woman. Her expression was startled, her mind was in confusion, and she shook her head slightly. Just one reply. I don't know you. Bai Wuxi breathed a sigh of relief, while Gu Langzhen frowned. Only Li Zixia was more certain that the other party must have a story with her scumbag brother. Zhong Tingyu suddenly looked at Bai Wuxi again, and another smile appeared on her pale face. Wuxi, I wish you happiness. After saying that, without waiting for Bai Wuxi's response, his body trembled, he looked at Gu Langzhen, and spoke bitterly. Mom, let's go back. Gu Langzhen looked deeply at Bai Wuxi and sighed again. She didn't know what to do for a while. He could only support Zhong Tingyu and walk towards the house. Bai Wuxi stared blankly at the mother and daughter leaving, frozen in place. She also noticed something was wrong. Zhong Tingyu's words "I wish you happiness" obviously meant something. Li Zixia touched Bai Wuxi's arm and whispered, Sister Wuxi. Only then did Bai Wuxi come back to her senses. She looked a little flustered and answered absent-mindedly, Zixia, what's wrong? Thinking about her brother's scumbag behavior, Li Zixia finally couldn't bear it and asked boldly. Sister Wei 11, if, my brother. When the words came to his lips, Li Zixia didn't know how to speak. It's the 21st century now, and it's impossible for her brother's behavior to be accepted. Sisters Haijin, Sister Wuxi, and the very beautiful Sister Tingyu just now. Every girl is so beautiful. It would be a great happiness to have one. But my scumbag brother actually dated 3 of them at the same time. What if something happened? Zixia, please continue talking, Bai Wuxi asked curiously when he saw Li Zixia, who was hesitant to speak. Li Zixia scratched her head and felt as if it was going to explode. These girlfriends that her brother was talking about were all too smart and outstanding. They were all top students in the school. I really didn't know what to think. Even if you are a scumbag, not only in different cities, but also in different universities, right? But luckily for him, not only are his 3 girlfriends from the same college, but 2 of them are good friends and college roommates. Her little mind really didn't understand this complicated relationship. What did her scumbag brother think? Is he too simple in life and wants to make it more difficult? Or has he become a playboy after making a lot of money by writing novels? She thinks it is most likely the latter. When her brother was in high school, he chased Biwixie for 3 years. Men become bad when they have money. It is absolutely true. Lizixia wanted to ask a question tentatively, but she didn't want to ask it when the words came to her lips. This complicated situation should be left to her scumbag brother to solve. A little girl who has never even been in love should not get involved in such a complicated emotional problem. Ahem, Sister Wixie, I suddenly forgot what I wanted to say. Biwixie was speechless. Her curiosity had been aroused. Her mind was also in a mess at the moment. She had many questions in her heart that she wanted to understand. Before, she didn't pay attention to this matter because she believed in Li Yuan's feelings for her. A boy chased a girl for 3 years, starting from the first year of high school, and they were deskmates for 2 years. For this girl, this boy took the huge pressure of taking the college entrance examination again and directly applied for the same university. It was hard for her to imagine that this girl had just agreed to this boy and they had just been together, and the other party cheated on her, and it was her roommate. Two beauties, one big and one small, walked towards the elevator absent-mindedly. On the other side, Zhong Tingyu could no longer hold back her emotions after leaving Biwixie's sight. She squatted on the ground, hugged her knees, tears fell, and her body was shaking. Gu Langzhen looked at her precious daughter like this and felt very distressed. She also squatted down, hugged Zhong Tingyu in her arms, and gently patted her back. Xiao Yueliang, there is no obstacle that cannot be overcome. At worst, just break up with him. Don't wrong yourself, don't think too much, mom only has you to rely on. Why do we, mother and daughter, have to face the same choice and suffer such a miserable life? Are good men really dead in this world? Gu Langzhen said, thinking of her sad past, and couldn't help but hugging Zhong Tingyu and burst into tears. The mother and daughter squatted on the side of the road and cried together. After a long time, Zhong Tingyu wiped her tears, supported Gu Langzhen, and spoke hoarsely. Mom, it's okay, let's go back. Gu Langzhen stopped crying, with tears on her face, hugged Zhong Tingyu, and her voice choked. Xiao Yueliang, you must be well, mom only has you to rely on. Zhong Tingyu shook her head and squeezed out a smile, Mom, I'm really fine. Gu Langzhen stared at Zhong Tingyu's haggard face. This once flawless, beautiful face like a fairy, but today it is particularly pale. Gu Langzhen gently stroked Zhong Tingyu's head and comforted her softly, Xiao Yuiyu, you can do whatever you want with your relationship with Li Yuan, and mom will firmly support you. Zhong Tingyu smiled and nodded, as if she had let it go. Mom, I will think it over carefully. It's just a relationship, no one can't live without each other. Gu Langzhen sighed inwardly when she saw her daughter's appearance, knowing that this was a manifestation of extreme sadness. The more you act like you don't care, the more you care in your heart. Xiao Yuiyu, let's go home, mom is a little tired. Well, go home. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 256. On the other side, after Biwixie sent Lizixia home, she proposed to go back to school. There were many questions in her heart that she wanted answered. When she drove her BMW Z4 back to school and opened the door, Wang Lisa was the only one in the dormitory. Wang Lisa hurriedly walked up and greeted with a smile, Wixie, you had a good time during the National Day holiday. I feel a little fatter. Tell me if you were exploited by your boyfriend. After Wang Lisa finished speaking, She reached out to sneak attack on Baiwaxi's Nana and scratched. Tisk, tisk, it feels great. If I were a boy, I wouldn't let go of it while sleeping. Being attacked by her roommate, Baiwaxi's pretty face turned red and she rolled her eyes at Wang Lisa. Sasha, can you be more serious? Your own is not small. Hee, that's different. I haven't met her owner yet, she hasn't been developed yet. Wang Lisa smiled and asked curiously. Waxi, why are you back suddenly now? Baiwaxi smiled and replied, school starts tomorrow. Of course I have to go back to school. Wang Lisa curled her lips and joked, come on, do the math for yourself, how many days and nights have you been away from home? I think you just have a boyfriend and have forgotten all our good sisters. No way. Baiwaxi blushed and pointed to a large bag of snacks and fruits that had just been placed on the ground. I even bought you a big bag of snacks and fruits. You actually said that to me. I'm sad. Wang Lisa looked at the large bag of snacks in front of her, and her face turned into a smile. Tisk, tisk, Chalitzi, Durian, Way 11, you are so kind, I forgive you. Baiwaxi glanced at the empty dormitory, where Wang Lisa was the only one, and asked curiously, Sasha, where are Mikey, Shanshan and the others? They all went out to play. It's the last day of vacation. They can't relax properly. After Wang Lisa finished speaking, she looked at Baiwaxi curiously and asked doubtfully. Waxi, what about you? Why aren't you with your boyfriend today? I read the announcement on Yuandian Chinese website. It seems that today is Li Yuan's new book signing event, right? Baiwaxi looked a little unnatural. Li Yuan had a book signing in the morning, and she originally planned to accompany him to the venue to cheer him on. As a result, Li Zixia called and wanted to find her. She had no choice but to meet her future sister-in-law. Just before coming to school, she called Li Yuan again. Li Yuan said that his company had something to do and he was busy. Baiwaxi replied casually, he is busy with something. She thought about Zhong Tingyu's strange behavior when she met her at noon, and had many questions in her mind. Baiwaxi sighed quietly, Shasha, I saw Tingyu at noon today. Wang Lisa was shocked. Seeing Baiwaxi's reaction, she thought that Baiwaxi also knew the truth of the matter, so she spoke with a complicated expression. Waxi, do you know everything? Know what? Baiwaxi became even more confused. She always felt that she seemed to have missed something. All her roommates, including Zhong Tingyu, seemed to know something, but she was the only one who was still in the dark. Wang Lisa asked doubtfully, Waxi, don't you know yet? Baiwaxi stared at Wang Lisa quietly, her heart trembled, and a ridiculous idea suddenly came to her mind. Shasha, just tell me, is it related to Tingyu? Wang Lisa looked deeply at Baiwaxi, thinking about how to speak. Not only a few people in their dormitory knew about this matter, but there were even rumors circulating throughout the financial institute, and some people even posted about it. If you want to hide it, you can't hide it at all. They originally wanted to test Baiwaxi, but after what happened with Zhong Tingyu, they stopped trying. They thought it would be better to wait for Baiwaxi to come back before telling her face to face. At this time, after meeting Baiwaxi, Wang Lisa was no longer prepared to hide it anymore, and decided to reveal the truth about Li Yuan's scumbag as soon as possible and rescue her roommate from the fire pit. Well, Way 11, do you know who Tingyu's boyfriend is? Baiwaxi's body trembled suddenly, and the terrible idea became clearer, but she didn't want to believe it. His eyes were fixed on Wang Lisa, and his voice was trembling slightly, Sasha, do you all know? Yes. Tingyu also knows, Wang Lisa replied. Baiwaxi's head was about to explode, and countless thoughts poured into his mind instantly. She simply couldn't imagine that it would be such a result. Continue to ask tremblingly, is it Li Yuan? Yes, Wang Lisa continued to nod, quickly supported by Wuxi and comforted her. Wuxi, don't get excited. It's all because of that scumbag Li Yuan who deceived you and Ting Yu. Listening to Wang Lisa's answer, Bai Wuxi's head felt like it was struck by 5 thunders. His vision went dark and he was about to faint. With quick eyesight and quick hands, Wang Lisa quickly supported Bai Wuxi and leaned her against her. Wuxi, are you okay? Bai Wuxi's head was dizzy, and there was only one voice in her mind. Li Yuan had betrayed her and was with his roommate. She simply couldn't imagine that the lovers who were still together last night had actually had an affair long ago. It was like the floodgates had been opened, and the tears started flowing down. Bai Wuxi broke down emotionally and started crying. While crying, he shouted loudly. Why? Why do you do this to me, Li Yuan, you big bastard? Wang Lisha saw Bai Wuxi's emotional breakdown and didn't know how to comfort her. She could only scold Li Yuan. Wuxi, it's all Li Yuan's fault. He deceived you and Ting Yu. When Shan Shan, Mikey, Ting Yu and the others come back, we will go to Li Yuan's class together to expose his two-timing behavior and seek justice for you. Ruin the reputation of this scumbag and make sure he won't find a girlfriend in the future and become a lonely man. Wang Lisha scolded vigorously, but Bai Wuxi didn't listen to a word and kept crying loudly. Because of Bai Wuxi's crying, it attracted the attention and curiosity of the students in the surrounding dormitories. Hey, why is someone crying in the next dormitory? When I went upstairs just now, I saw the BMW Z4 sports car parked downstairs. This car belongs to Bai Wuxi, right? Did Bai Wuxi go back to school? It should be, so why is he crying now? Hee, maybe she knew her boyfriend was cheating on her, and the one who cheated on her was her roommate. Speaking of which, Bai Wuxi and Zhong Tingyu are not at a disadvantage either, because their boyfriends bought them sports cars. Which are sports cars? Which girl wouldn't envy them? Alas, what you said makes sense. It doesn't matter who you fall in love with. Anyway, after graduating from college, most couples will break up, and dating a rich second generation, at least you can get some benefits, and your youth is not wasted. Hee, there is no rich boy who is not fickle. I don't know how Zhong Tingyu and Bai Wuxi will get along in the future. Living in the same dormitory must be very awkward, and there will be something interesting to watch in the future. It is indeed very awkward, but Bai Wuxi is miserable enough. It is said that she and her boyfriend started dating in high school. As a result, when she just arrived at college, her boyfriend cheated on her roommate. Tisk tisk, even novels don't dare to write like this. Cheating is cheating, and I don't know why the boy cheated on his girlfriend's roommate. What else could it be? He was attracted by her beauty. Zhong Tingyu usually looks like a cold goddess, but I didn't expect that she would do such a despicable thing. Are all the men in the world dead? Should we go over and comfort Bai Wuxi? Haha, come on. She drives a luxury sports car given by her boyfriend, lives in a big house bought by her boyfriend, wears branded clothes, carries LV and Chanel bags, and one bag is more than our annual living expenses. What do we need to comfort her? You are right, that boy is a bit fickle, but he is really willing to spend money on them. I am a little envious. Chapter 170. Brother Yuan, something bad has happened to you. In school, all kinds of gossip spread the fastest and attract attention. Crisp college students, because they have nothing to do, mostly have a gossipy heart. The news that Bai Wuxi returned to the school dormitory and broke down and cried in the dormitory immediately spread in the finance college, causing heated discussions among male and female students in the finance college. Breaking news: Bai Wuxi, one of the 2 campus beauties of the finance college, was cheated on by a scumbag and is crying loudly in the dormitory. I heard that she has broken up with her rich second-generation boyfriend. Brothers, the opportunity has come. Now is a good time to pursue the campus belle. Bai, maybe you can find a chance and take her down while she is sad. Not only the campus belle Bai, but another campus belle Zhong Tingyu must be very sad and completely disappointed in love, so she has given up on herself. Are there any brothers who want to chase together? Hee, Count me in, I'll sign up if I can really find a chance and catch her. I will definitely cherish them and have a sweet love, I will never cheat. Fan Zheng has already started to act. He started to pursue Zhong Tingyu as soon as the school started, but was rejected decisively by the school beauty. Zhong now is a great opportunity. Damn, I even suspect that the post on our school forum was posted by Fan Zheng, that bastard. By the way, brothers and sisters, who knows who the guy who scumbags the two school beauties is? He is so rich that he bought luxury sports cars for Zhong Tingyu and Baiwuxi, worth millions. Damn, he is really willing to spend a lot of money. I want to warm his bed. I don't know if he likes sissy boys. That boy seems to be very famous and is also from our school. I don't know what major he is in and what year he is in. The other girls in Zhong Tingyu's dormitory must know, who can ask him. I know a little about this scumbag. He should be a freshman in our school's computer major this year. His name seems to be Li Yuan. The best-selling online novel Battle of the Stars is written by him. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 257. Is this true? I am following Battle of the Stars and have joined a book club. I heard that a new book signing event was held today. You are telling me now that my favorite author is a two-timing scumbag? Hey, is the scumbag you are talking about a freshman in the computer department? I happen to know a friend in the computer department. I'll go ask about the situation. Lan Yuan, girls' dormitory. Xiang Qin Yang Kaiu, the monitor of the computer class, is listening to a song and humming it. Coffee on the left bank of the Seine. I hold a cup to taste your beauty. The lips that leave lip prints. You said you're a little hard to chase. Want me to give up? Beside him, Zhou Dan listened to the song sung by Xiang Qin Yang Kaiu and asked curiously, Xiang Qin, what's the name of the song you sang? It's pretty nice. Whose new song is it? Xiang Qin Yang Kaiu smiled and nodded. Well, the song is called Confession Balloon. I don't know who uploaded it to Qzhou Music. It's sung by a girl, but there's no name. I like it very much. The song is called Confession Balloon? Why do I feel like my idol Jay Chu's rhythm sounds a bit like it? Xiang Qin, give me an earphone, I want to listen to it too. Zhou Dan asked doubtfully, took the earphone from Xiang Qin Yang Kaiu's hand, and put it in his ears. After a while, Zhou Dan looked at Xiang Qin Yang Kaiu excitedly and spoke excitedly. It's really nice. Who is this female singer? Her voice is very clear and clean, but there is a little noise at the scene, and the sound quality is not very good. Xiang Qin Yang Kaiu also agreed, it's true. It feels like someone accidentally recorded it at a live concert. If I could hear the original version. Before she finished speaking, Xiang Qin Yang Kaiu's phone vibrated. She took a look and smiled at Zhou Dan. I'll take a call from a friend first. As soon as the call was connected, a female voice came from the other side. Hello, Xiang Qin, are you in school? Xiang Qin Yang Kaiu asked in confusion, yes, what's the matter? I want to ask you about someone. I wonder if you know him. Oh, you said, Xiang Qin Yang Kaiu replied with a smile. Do you know a boy named Li Yuan? I heard that he is a freshman in your computer department. He is quite tall and seems to be writing some novels on the internet. Xiang Qin's heart moved, and her pretty face was inadvertently smeared with a faint blush. Which girl doesn't admire AI, and she is no exception. As the big star in the class, Li Yuan really perfectly meets the fantasy of all girls. Tall and handsome, versatile, earning millions a month, generous, and playing basketball very well. Unfortunately, because Li Yuan has a very pure and beautiful girlfriend Xia's Haijin, other girls except Wang Zhirong can only think about him secretly. Xiang Qin Yang Kaiu smiled and replied, the Li Yuan you are talking about is a classmate of ours. What's wrong? The voice on the other end of the phone said mysteriously, really? I have some hot gossip about Li Yuan in your class. Do you want to hear it? Xiang Qin Yang Kaiu was startled. He glanced at Jodan and saw that she was wearing headphones and listening to music seriously. She shyly replied in a low voice, "Yeah. Hee, Xiang Qin, you don't know how much trouble Li Yuan has caused in our finance college. He is now famous in our school." Xiang Qin Yankai suddenly asked nervously, "What's wrong with Li Yuan?" "Haha, Xiang Qin, from your tone, why are you a little nervous? You are not secretly in love with Li Yuan, are you?" "What nonsense are you talking about?" Xiang Qin Yankai's heart was beating wildly, and her pretty face was slightly red. She did have a little affection for Li Yuan, but she never showed it. Even after adding QQ, they basically didn't talk. "I'm just concerned about my classmates. If you don't tell me, I'll hang up." The voice on the other end of the phone laughed, "It's good that you don't like him. I tell you, Li Yuan is a philandering scumbag. You are in the same class with him and he is so beautiful. Don't be fooled by his sweet words." "You said Li Yuan is a philandering scumbag? What's wrong with him?" Xiang Qin Yankai's mind was full of doubts. As for Li Yuan using sweet words to deceive her, that's even more impossible. After adding Li Yuan's QQ, the two of them only greeted each other once and never spoke again. In her impression, Li Yuan treated Xia's Haijin very well, and the two of them were very affectionate. For her, he directly rejected other girls in the class who were chasing him. "Why do you say Li Yuan is a philandering scumbag?" Hee, let me tell you, this news has spread in our finance college. Li Yuan, this scumbag, has 2 girlfriends at the same time. That's fine. Do you know what the most important thing is? These 2 girlfriends are roommates in the same dormitory." Xiang Qin Yankai was confused. This amount of information was too much. Her brain was a little down for a while. "Wait, Cai, you said Li Yuan has 2 girlfriends in the finance college?" "Yes, Li Yuan's vision is also very sharp. Both of his girlfriends are campus beauties in our finance college, and they are very beautiful." Xiang Qin Yankai was shocked and subconsciously said, "But, isn't Li Yuan's girlfriend a classmate of our class?" After hearing Xiang Qin Yankai's answer, the girl on the opposite side widened her eyes and burst into a swear word in disbelief. No way, Li Yuan has a girlfriend in your class. That is to say, he is not only cheating on 2 women, but 3 women at the same time. He is really a playboy." Xiang Qin Yankai was confused, and the filter in his heart was instantly broken. After a long time, he asked seriously, "Cai, I am a little confused now. Please tell me in detail what is going on." "Speaking of it, the situation is quite complicated. The situation is probably like this. Li Yuan bought sports cars for his 2 girlfriends in the finance college, and then we found that the photos were of the same person." The girl on the other end of the phone told her everything she knew, and kept talking for nearly half an hour before she sighed. "Although Li Yuan is indeed a jerk and has 3 girlfriends at the same time, he is also very generous. He gave away sports cars worth millions of dollars without hesitation. It has gone viral in our school of finance. No, it quickly spread like wildfire in our school. By the way, one of the girls' sports cars is still downstairs in our Miwan dormitory. The girl in our class named Biwixi cried in the dormitory. I heard that she was so sad that she almost fainted and was sent to the hospital. By the way, Xiang Qin, what is the name of Li Yuan's girlfriend in your class? Does she know that Li Yuan has multiple girlfriends at the same time? What is her reaction? Did Li Yuan buy her a sports car?" "Car?" Xiang Qin Yankai was speechless. "Cai, why are you so gossipy?" Hee, gossiping is the nature of us girls. Xiang Qin, I don't believe you are not curious. This Li Yuan is too bad. He actually has a girlfriend in your class. The university has only been open for a month, and he has 3 girlfriends. When he graduates from university, he must have 3-digit girlfriends. Xiang Qin, although this Li Yuan is generous and looks very handsome, he has too many tricks, you must not be a scumbag by him. Xiang Qin Yankai was speechless, and the hidden good feelings for Li Yuan in his heart disappeared. I don't want to fall in love in college. Even if I fall in love, I will test the other party well. I just want to be a couple for life. As soon as Xiang Qin finished speaking, the voice on the other end of the phone suddenly became noisy, accompanied by exclamations. Hey, CAI, I'll hang up if you don't talk. After a long while, a shocked tone came from the other end of the phone. Wait a minute, Xiang Qin, I just heard another shocking news about Li Yuan, do you want to hear it? Xiang Qin Yankai pouted, CAI, please don't tell me that Li Yuan has other girlfriends. Xiang Qin, you are really a smart guy, congratulations on getting half of the answer right. Xiang Qin Yankai was confused, she was just joking. CAI, what's the situation? Li Yuan has other girlfriends. It's possible. I just heard from my roommates that a new explosive news, Li Yuan sang an original song at the new book signing event today, and it seems that he confessed to a girl. The girl named CAI was very excited. This is not the most important thing. What is the most important thing? Do you know what it is? Without waiting for Xiang Qin Yankai to ask, the other party explained on her own, with a tone full of surprise. Two songs that are very popular on the internet now, Confession Balloon and No Makeup, were both written by Li Yuan. Among them, No Makeup was sung by Li Yuan and a girl from another school. That girl is probably also his girlfriend. Xiang Qin Yankai was very shocked after hearing this, and asked in disbelief, CAI, what did you say? Confession Balloon is a song written by Li Yuan. Well, it's confirmed. Li Yuan wrote 3 songs, all for that girl from another school, Confession Balloon, No Makeup and Just Met You. These 3 songs are very nice, the kind that can become popular and win awards. Now they are all going viral on the internet, on Taiba, Weibo, etc., everywhere, even the live video has been exposed, you can find out with a search. I really can't believe that Li Yuan, this scumbag, is so talented, writes novels so well, and has super strong musical talent. To be honest, I am a little moved. The two chatted for a while before hanging up the phone. Xiang Qin Yankai's eyes were a little dull. The information she just received was too complicated and beyond her imagination. Seeing Zhou Dan still listening to music, she felt mixed emotions and was unsure whether to tell her roommate about this explosive news. Li Yuan, what kind of person are you? Why are you so fickle? Zhou Dan saw Xiang Qin Yankai finished the call and looked silly, so she asked in confusion. Xiang Qin, what's wrong with you? Nothing. Xiang Qin Yankai panicked, but her expression betrayed her. You must be in trouble. Tell me, what happened? Zhou Dan joked with a smile. Did another boy confess to you? If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 258. Let me guess who it is. Could it be Zhou Tianyu? He is handsome and his family is rich. I heard that he is pursuing you. As the monitor of the computer class, Xiang Qin Yankai is also very pretty. She is the second most beautiful girl after Xiao's Haijin, and even more popular with boys than Xiao's Haijin. After all, everyone knows that Xiao's Haijin is Li Yuan's girlfriend, and other boys do not have the confidence and courage to pursue Xiao's Haijin. But Xiang Qin Yankai has no boyfriend. She is also the monitor of the class. She has the most contact with boys in the class and is often confessed to. Dandan, don't guess randomly. It has nothing to do with me. Xiang Qin rolled her eyes shyly at Zhou Dan. Zhou Dan asked with a smile, Xiang Qin, why did you look like that just now? What did you say on the phone just now? Tell me some gossip. Xiang Qin Yang Kai did not answer, but directly opened the laptop and searched for the word confession balloon. As soon as the search button was pressed, several news appeared in an instant. Revealing who wrote the popular online song Confession Balloon? Online writer who is only 18 years old is actually a talented musician. His casual creations Confession Balloon and No Makeup topped the original music hot list. Refused to debut, the music genius and great writer said that writing songs is just for hobbies. Online best-selling writer Sheng Ru Xiahua confessed to a mysterious girl on the spot. Zhou Dan curiously lay in front of the computer, watching Xiang Qin Yang Kai searching for news. Xiang Qin, what are you doing? You will know when you watch it, the situation is more complicated, Xiang Qin Yang Kai said, and suddenly clicked on a video, which was the video of Li Yuan and Zhang Ziyu singing No Makeup at the welcome party of Jida University. Hey, this boy, isn't it Li Yuan from our class? Zhou Dan was surprised. Xiang Qin, is No Makeup really sung by Li Yuan? Dandan, don't worry, you will know when you watch it again, Xiang Qin Yang Kai replied, and continued to browse other news about Li Yuan. Then, he opened the forum again and found the Daxia University forum. The names of the latest hot posts are all about Li Yuan, the songs written by Li Yuan cheating on 2 women at the same time, Li Yuan buying a sports car for his girlfriend. As she browsed through the posts, Zhou Dan kept exclaiming with her eyes wide open. Xiang Qin, is Li Yuan still a human being? How can he be so scumbag, cheating on 3 women at the same time, no, 4 women at the same time? I saw Xia's Haijin this morning, she probably doesn't know the truth yet. Xiang Qin Yang Kai also had complicated thoughts. If she put aside Li Yuan's cheating behavior, she admired Li Yuan's talent very much. Unfortunately, she was a person with a very positive outlook on life and could not accept Li Yuan's cheating behavior. Xiang Qin, should we tell Xia's Haijin about this news? Xiang Qin Yang Kai shook his head, forget it, this news is not only known to the 2 of us, but also to the finance college, and it is everywhere on the internet, and it has even been on Weibo hot search. Even if we don't tell her, Xia's Haijin will know it sooner or later. There is no need for us to offend Li Yuan for nothing. Zhou Dan nodded in agreement, you are right, a young and talented boy like Li Yuan must be narrow-minded. Alas, I actually like Xia's Haijin very much. She is very gentle, simple, kind, and low-key and studious. She is a very good girl, but it's a pity that she gave it to the wrong man. The news circulating on the internet is all about Li Yuan's songwriting, including in the circle of online novel authors and readers. As the news that Li Yuan wrote the songs Nu Yan, Confession Balloon and Just Met You was exposed, a large number of fans began to pay attention to Li Yuan himself. After learning that Li Yuan wrote Battle Starry Sky, they instantly flocked to Yuandian Chinese website, making the already popular Battle Starry Sky completely popular. Li Yuan was not clear about everything that happened online and at school, and he didn't know that his scumbag behavior of cheating on several boats had been discovered by someone and exposed on the Daxia University forum. At noon, he accompanied Wu Wenhui, Zheng Kaimo, Fang Jueqing and other partners to have a meal together. He wanted to call Zhang Ziyu and apologize to her in person. However, Zhang Ziyu didn't answer the phone after calling 3 times. Li Yuan could only send a message helplessly. Xiao Yuer, I'm sorry. There were only 6 simple words, because he didn't know how to explain it. Zhang Ziyu was obviously angry at this time. Unless he swore on the spot that he had cut off contact with other girlfriends, it would not be convincing at all. He could only wait for Zhang Ziyu to calm down a little, and then think of a feasible way to try it out. Li Yuan sat in the sports car and waited for a long time, but did not wait for Xiao Er's reply. During this period, he received more than 10 calls from Wang Zhurong. Li Yuan frowned and really wanted to block her directly, but worried that she had some handles, so he could only answer the phone helplessly. As soon as the call was connected, Wang Zhirong's coquettish and charming voice came. "Writer Li, where are you now? You promised me last night, you won't forget it. I'm ready, and I've brought a few sets of combat uniforms." Li Yuan was in no mood at this time, and perfunctorily replied, "I can't leave here today, let's talk about it another day." Wang Zhirong naturally heard Li Yuan's obviously perfunctory tone, and was secretly upset in her heart, but she didn't dare to show it. "I can keep waiting for you. I'm still here at Tianyu building. When you're done, give me a message." Li Yuan was impatient and replied perfunctorily, "Well, that's it, I'm done." Just as he hung up the phone, another call came in. Li Yuan took a closer look and saw that it was the real estate agency's phone number. Before the National Day holiday, after selling the game copyright of Battle of the Stars, he discussed with Zhong Tingyu about opening a milk tea shop, and he contacted a real estate agency to find a suitable shop. "In the past few days, because I went to the mountain city, I never had time to contact and view the house. Mr. Li, are you free this afternoon? We have contacted all the shops you need and would like to invite you to take a look on site." Li Yuan thought for a moment and realized that the other party had called him several times and there was nothing particularly important in the afternoon, so he replied, "Okay, I'm at the Jinchinj Hotel next to Tianyu building. Come and find me." "Okay, Mr. Li, please wait a moment, I'll be there right away." Only more than 10 minutes later, Li Yuan saw the other party driving a black Audi A4, got out of the car, and walked over. Li Yuan got off the Lamborghini and said with a smile, "I'll take your car, let's go now." "Okay, Mr. Li." Wang Jun leaned over slightly and quickly opened the rear door. Before getting in the car, he glanced at the Lamborghini with his peripheral vision and secretly guessed who Li Yuan was. The shops in Magic City are of high value and are more expensive than ordinary houses. Depending on the location, the price is around 10,000–30,000 per square meter. Now that we are planning to establish a high-end milk tea brand, we naturally need to choose some stores in good locations and decorate them more exquisitely so that they look classy. At this time, the property manager was making a warm introduction to Li Yuan. "Mr. Li, there are 10 shops here. Each one is in a very good location. It is in the city center and next to major shopping malls and schools. Whether it is used for renting or doing business, it has great potential for appreciation." Li Yuan has already seen these 10 sets of shops. The largest shop has an area of 150 square meters and is located on the first floor below the Longjia Building shopping mall. He plans to use it as a flagship store. It used to be a clothing store. The other 9 shops all have an area of about 60–80 square meters, which is enough space to open a milk tea shop. Anyway, investing in real estate in Magic City, whether it is a shop or a residence, is a surefire business. He doesn't have any psychological burden. What about the price? If I buy all 10 sets of shops, how much will it cost? Naturally, the real estate manager would not doubt Li Yuan's strength. Anyone who can drive a Lamborghini must be a super second generation. For them, investing in a shop may be just for fun. "Mr. Li, these 10 sets of shops have a relatively high unit price because of their strategic location. If you add them all together, you can get them for 10 million. With this 10 million, if you take out a mortgage, you only need a down payment of 4 to 5 million. Moreover, our company can complete the transfer of all shops for you within a week. There is no one in the entire Magic City that is faster, safer and more reliable than our company." Li Yuan had no doubts about Wang Jun's boasting. When he first came to Shanghai, he bought 7 houses from the other company and did not encounter any problems. "Okay, Manager Wang, we have dealt with it before, so let me talk to you as much as possible, but the procedures must be perfect and there can be no disputes. As for the payment method..." Li Yuan paused. Of course, he knew that if you want to invest in real estate, it is best to take a loan, or you can also use a rent-to-support loan. In a few years, when the house price rises, you can sell it with nothing. However, he doesn't think it's necessary. Applying for a loan at a bank is also very troublesome and requires various procedures. Anyway, he has enough money now. The investment in Bigwanti stock will soon bring him a large amount of income. When the game he develops is launched next year, he can also make a lot of money. Li Yuan smiled faintly and said, "Let's talk about it as a full payment." Wang Jun looked overjoyed after hearing this. If he wanted to buy it in full, their agency would also like this payment method. "Mr. Li, don't worry, I will get it done for you as soon as possible." Yes, Li Yuan nodded, and suddenly, his cell phone rang. It was Lucia who called. As soon as the call was connected, Lucia's anxious voice came from the other end of the phone. "Brother Yuan, something bad has happened." "Something happened to you?" Li Yuan frowned and asked, "Lao Lu, what happened, please tell me clearly." Lucia's voice was trembling. "Brother Yuan, I don't know who posted it on our school's forum, saying that you had 2 girlfriends in the Finance Institute. Now it's spread all over the school, not only in the Finance Institute. I know it, and most of the students in our class also know it." "Brother Yuan, did you really have 2 girlfriends in Caiun? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. If the confession fails, chase her bestie." Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 259. Li Yuan's body trembled and his brows furrowed. He thought that this day would come, but he didn't expect it to come so soon. It was even posted online. Chapter 171. Li Yuan, am I alone? In the boys' dormitory, roommates such as Lucia, Wu Hao, Su Ziqiang, and Yi Jing were all quietly waiting for Li Yuan's answer. When they heard the news from the girls' dormitory, they were also shocked. Their first reaction was doubt and disbelief. It would be fine if Li Yuan was in 2 different situations. After all, they had met Zhong Tingyu and had dinner together. Zhong Tingyu has a unique aloof temperament, a great figure, and is so beautiful. Any man would be attracted by such a beautiful girl. She and Li Yuan seemed to have known each other before, and their relationship was extraordinary. If they were together secretly, there would be no problem. But they never expected that 2 was not Li Yuan's limit at all. There were only 4 revealed, and 2 of them were girls who were college roommates, which made them stunned. "Can you still play like this? Do you really think you can't die quickly enough?" After hearing this shocking news, Lucia and the others felt that it was already too late. After all, there is no such secret in a dormitory. Just like in their dormitory, if someone gets close to a girl or dates them frequently, they can find out the truth through just a casual chat. The 4 people were thinking wildly. Li Yuan's calm voice came from the other end of the phone. "I understand, I still have something to do, hang up." Lucia and others had different expressions when they saw Li Yuan's calm tone. According to their assumptions, Li Yuan would be very nervous after hearing the news, as anxious as an ant on a hot pot. Who knows, judging from the reaction, he is not nervous at all. It was as if the situation had been expected. Lucia said something blankly, which made Wu Hao and Su Ziqiang think deeply. "Brothers, do you think that with Brother Yuan's conditions, there will be a shortage of girlfriends?" Several people shook their heads in unison. "Are you kidding me? Li Yuan needs to be tall, good-looking, versatile, and approachable. The most important thing is that he is generous and loves his girlfriend extremely. Adding up all these conditions, the number of girls from Daxia University who want to pursue him would be 800 if not 1000. Not to mention, the cosmopolitan city of magic is full of beauties. As long as Li Yuan makes a noise and auditions for a girlfriend, the people who sign up can be ranked from the Magic City to Gallic Chicken. Not to mention other things, there was a pretty girl in their class who was trying his best to pursue Li Yuan. As long as Li Yuan hooks his hand, he can win immediately and be taken out to play poker that night. Lu Jie sighed with envy. So, brother Yuan doesn't have to worry at all. It's just a girlfriend. He can change it at any time if he wants. What should be urgent is his girlfriends. If anyone chooses to quit, there will be nothing. In our school and the Magic City, there may be a shortage of others, but there is definitely no shortage of beautiful girls. Wu Hao also nodded in agreement. What Lao Lu said makes sense. However, I just feel that brother Yuan would be a bit too scumbag if he really did this. Those girls are all pretty good. There is also classmate Xia's Haijin, who left a very good impression on me. I heard that her family's conditions are also very difficult. Her parents have passed away. If brother Yuan abandons her, I really think it is a bit too much. Hey, let's not care about whether brother Yuan is a scumbag or not. Just because brother Yuan has 4 girlfriends at the same time, he is a role model for boys of our generation. Suzuki-yang sighed with emotion. He didn't even have a girlfriend. As for how brother Yuan will deal with his emotional problems, we can't control it. The most we can do is wait for brother Yuan to come back and provide him with some suggestions. Wu Hao nodded, with a wicked smile on his face. Hey, brother Yuan is in great shape too. No wonder he tortured us to death on the basketball court. He has 4 girlfriends. There must be no one who is indestructible of kidney. Brother Yuan has a great body, but he is so generous with his actions. I am very curious about how much money brother Yuan makes. When people pick up girls, the most they do is treat her to dinner, buy flowers, buy clothes, watch a movie, etc. It would be better for him to just give her a sports car. Do you know what kind of sports car brother Yuan gave to the 2 girls from the Finance Academy? A Porsche 911 and a BMW Z4. Just 2 sports cars cost 2 to 3 million. I'm so jealous that I'm purple. Lu Jie looked envious. Their monthly living expenses were only a few hundred yuan, and they couldn't even afford to fill up their sports car with gas. With an envious look on his face, he joked, "Maid, to be honest, I want to fly to Bangsa country right now to have a sex change and repay brother Yuan's thigh. I don't ask for much, just buy me a Porsche 911. Wu Hao glanced at the pimples on Lu Jie's face and teased. Lao Lu, please stop dreaming. Just look at this ordinary face and inconspicuous figure. Doesn't it feel good for brother Renai Yuan to hold the fragrant and soft little sister? Xia's Haijin, Zhong Tingyu, any of brother Yuan's girlfriends are all beautiful girls with fairy-like looks and school belle level. You'd better stop dreaming. Speaking of which, I'm a little surprised. Even if brother Yuan earns 2 million a month, this book Battle of the Stars has only been on the shelves for 3 months. How can he spend millions to buy a sports car for his girlfriend? He bought a house in Shanghai and owns a more expensive Lamborghini. Son of a bitch, I was just joking. Who would choose to be a TJ instead of being a good man? Lu Jie laughed and cursed, then spread his hands. Who knows, maybe brother Yuan is a rich second generation. Brother Yuan drove a Lamborghini sports car today. I wanted to ask him to try the sports car, but I didn't have the nerve to ask. Thinking of the super cool Lamborghini driven by Li Yuan at the book signing event in the morning, Wu Hao's face was full of admiration and envy. Damn, I've never ridden a sports car in my life. Who hasn't? When will brother Yuan bring his Lamborghini to school? Let's try it. After Suzuki-yang finished speaking, he looked at Lu Jie and joked with a smile. 6th brother, you are thick-skinned. Tell brother Yuan about it. Lu Jie pouted, shook his head gently, and muttered, how dare I? Brother Yuan must have a bad temper after this happened. Don't offend him. Let's talk about it in a few days. I really don't know how brother Yuan will deal with this matter. This may be the trouble of happiness. Lanyuan a -6608 girls' dormitory. Xia's Haijin sat in front of the computer with a dull look in her eyes. The post displayed on it was about Li Yuan having two girlfriends at the same time in the finance college. Shenzhou cursed angrily on the side, as if she was the one being scumbag. Haijin, I knew that Li Yuan was not a good person. Look, he's been exposed, this scumbag is actually cheating on multiple women. Haijin, listen to me, break up with the scumbag decisively. With your conditions, you can find any boyfriend. This scumbag is too disgusting. He cheats on 4 women. His conscience has been eaten by dogs. No wonder he chased you at the first class meeting at the beginning of the school year. He must be attracted by your beauty and has ulterior motives. Listening to Shenzhou's endless curses on Li Yuan, Gao Xian, Li Lanrong, and Ji Chen all frowned and said nothing. The scandalous news that suddenly broke out was too explosive, leaving them all confused now. Xia's Haijin was just crying with a dull face, her eyes were dull, and I don't know what she was thinking. Li Lanrong couldn't stand it anymore, frowned, and complained to Shenzhou. Ziu, stop cursing, it won't help at all. Li Yuan is such a scumbag, what's wrong with me cursing him? He just has a few stinky money, right? Shenzhou was furious, looking at Xia's Haijin's helpless appearance, she felt very distressed. Why did he treat Haijin like this and hurt Haijin like this? Such a scumbag should be exposed on the internet, his reputation should be ruined, and all girls should be warned to stay away from scumbags. Everyone is responsible. Ji Chen looked at Shenzhou's angry appearance and was speechless. As a native of Shanghai, her values are very different from those of outsiders like Shenzhou. Although she has not been in a relationship yet, she has heard too many such things in the circle. Compared with them, Li Yuan can be regarded as pure and innocent. Ziu, I think Haijin should make the decision herself. Li Yuan has accompanied Haijin back to his hometown in Shancheng and met Haijin's family. This represents some kind of recognition. Ji Chen walked to Xia's Haijin, patted her shoulder gently, and comforted her softly. Haijin, I think you need to think carefully, calm down, and rethink this relationship. If you want to let it go, then let it go. If you don't want to let it go, then try to fight for it. As soon as Ji Chen finished speaking, Shenzhou got angry, stared, and shouted. Ji Chen, what do you mean? It was Li Yuan who cheated first. Do you still want Haijin to be humble and compete for favors with Li Yuan's other girlfriends? Li Yuan, this dead scumbag, does he deserve it? Who does he think he is he the emperor? Please, this is already the 21st century. Forget it, I'll shut up, I won't say anything. Ji Chen was so angry that he sneered and went back to his seat, turned on the computer, put on headphones and listened to music. If Shenzhou looked carefully, she would find that the song Ji Chen was listening to was Su Yan sung by Li Yuan. Obviously, Ji Chen also likes the songs written by Li Yuan. When she learned that Confession Balloon and Su Yan were both written by Li Yuan, she was surprised for a long time. Therefore, her mind was more complicated, and there was some inexplicable little joy. If the confession fails, chase her bestie. Author, Ren Shenkui Kan Ru Xiahua. Chapter 260. When others were scolding Li Yuan for being a scumbag, she didn't think Li Yuan did anything wrong. The more outstanding a man is, the more attractive he should be to girls. Why should girls choose those useless men? Seeing this, Li Lanrong, Gao Xian and other girls also decisively shut their mouths. Shenzhou has always had a lot of opinions about Li Yuan, or inexplicable hostility. Now that she has finally found an opportunity, she must spray him to death. Shenzhou raised her head proudly, like a general returning from victory, and continued to persuade Xia's Haijin non-stop. Haijin, I'm telling you, No matter what sweet words Li Yuan says, don't believe them. Men can cheat only once or countless times. If we believe their lies, we girls will be hurt in the end. This time, you break up with him. I don't believe it. All the good men in the world are dead. Even if they are all dead, you still have me. We are good sisters and will be together forever. Hearing what Shenzhou said, Gao Xian and Li Lanrong looked at each other, and suddenly felt a little strange. Such words sounded wrong. Could it be that Shenzhou is a lesbian at heart? After hanging up the call from Lucia, Li Yuan felt a little upset. Since most of the classmates in the class knew about it, Xia's Haijin must have known about it. Her roommate Shenzhou is a big mouth. Wang Jun saw that Li Yuan had a gloomy face after receiving a call, and his tone of voice became more respectful, fearing that any words would accidentally offend Li Yuan. Mr. Li, if you have something to do, we can talk about it another day. I am always waiting for your call. Li Yuan frowned and looked at Wang Jun. After a moment of silence, he asked, "Do you have cigarettes?" Wang Jun was slightly startled and nodded quickly. As a real estate manager, it is a must to carry cigarettes and lighters. He quickly took out a pack of soft cigarettes from his suit pocket, took out two, and handed them to Li Yuan respectfully. Li Yuan took one and held it to his mouth, and Wang Jun quickly held the lighter to light it. Li Yuan took a deep puff, smoked 1/3 of a cigarette directly, and then exhaled it long. His expression was slightly gentle, and he looked at Wang Jun and said calmly, "Manager Wang, just do as you said just now. Just tell me when you're done. I have something else to do, send me back." Wang Jun's eyes lit up, and he nodded quickly with a reassurance in his heart. "Mr. Li, don't worry, I will definitely get things done." Li Yuan looked at the storefront and suddenly lost interest. Emotional matters are always involuntary and uncontrollable. He wants to be a scumbag who only thinks with his lower body, but in the process of dating, he is prone to real feelings. This feeling of being stuck in his throat makes him feel very uncomfortable. If the quality of his girlfriend is excluded, it is far less enjoyable than the time when he gave up on himself in his previous life. You can indulge yourself at will without any psychological burden. After all, it is just a one-time relationship bought with money. Who knows who after putting on your pants? But the situation is different now. It's their first time, and it's unforgettable for them, unlike those beakers who use their bodies to pay for money. While thinking wildly in his mind, Wang Jun has already driven the car to the door of the hotel. Li Yuan got out of the car, started the Lamborghini sports car, and drove towards the school. No matter what, he has to give them an explanation. At the very least, he has to ensure that they don't do stupid things. Otherwise, he will feel guilty for the rest of his life. When Li Yuan returned to Daxia University, it was already around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Because the National Day holiday ended today, the school was already crowded, and the road was full of youthful students. Li Yuan drove the Lamborghini, the roar of the engine was deafening, and the super sci-fi appearance, the rate of turning back and attracting attention along the way was as high as 100%. Li Yuan has become accustomed to it. He drives the supercar and attracts the attention of passers-by wherever he goes. He didn't intend to be so high profile, but then he thought, anyway, he has been exposed now, what's the point of keeping a low profile? Just be high profile for once and make yourself happy. Why bother so much? Li Yuan parked the Lamborghini downstairs of the girls' dormitory. He was wearing a small suit for the book signing event in the morning, black leather shoes, and a pair of sunglasses. With his 1.85-meter tall burly figure, he looked like a movie star. As soon as Li Yuan got off the car, a passing girl covered her mouth and looked at him secretly, whispering, "Wow, this boy is so cool and stylish, just like a big star, and he got off a sports car. Could it be that a star came to our school to take a photo? I don't know, but this outfit is really super handsome, I feel like I'm getting it. Hey, Zixi, why is he following us here? Oh my god, he won't chat with me, right? Should I be reserved? Li Yuan listened to the whispers of this pair of crazy girls and was very speechless. He was going to the girls' dormitory, and this door was the only way to go. Just as Li Yuan was walking past the two girls in front of him, one of them, a girl with short hair and a bit of baby fat, suddenly stopped him shyly. Hey, handsome guy, can you add your contact information? Li Yuan never thought that one day in his life, he would be asked for his contact information in person. If it was in the previous life, he would definitely be ecstatic and secretly narcissistic, but in this life. Li Yuan said lightly, sorry, my girlfriend doesn't allow it. After saying that, he left the slightly fat girl in a daze and stomped her feet in the wind. What? You are really drunk, a self-righteous man. Because it was daytime, the dormitory ant didn't pay much attention to the people coming and going. Li Yuan took advantage of the dormitory ant playing with her mobile phone and walked over quickly, heading upstairs to the girls' dormitory. Along the way, he met several female college students, all of whom looked at Li Yuan with strange eyes. Hey, Tian Tian, why is there a boy in our girls' dormitory? Doesn't the dormitory ant ask? This boy is dressed very stylishly and has a tall figure. Why does he look familiar? I seem to have seen him somewhere. I remember, isn't he the scumbag rich second generation who is so popular online and has several girlfriends at the same time? Why did this scumbag suddenly come to our building? Does he have a girlfriend in our building too? Li Yuan frowned as he listened to the discussions around him. Now, has the word scumbag become his synonym? Then can we say that he has become the ancestor of scumbags? When he goes bankrupt in the future, will he learn from the most affectionate person in Jiangnan, the ancestor of scumbags? Go and become a big internet celebrity? Li Yuan came to the dormitory 6608 on the 6th floor in silence. He knocked on the door with a little nervousness in his heart. Who is here? A voice came from inside the room. It should be Gao Xian's voice. Li Yuan could still tell it apart. When the dormitory door was opened, Gao Xian saw Li Yuan standing at the door. He was startled at first, then changed his expression again, and looked at Li Yuan in doubt. Li Yuan, why are you here? Gao Xian looked at Li Yuan's dress and figure, and his heart suddenly pounded faster. Li Yuan asked calmly, can I come in? Gao Xian was stunned and quickly replied, you want to come in? Of course you can. As soon as Li Yuan stepped into the door, he saw Xia's Haijin sitting in front of the computer desk in a daze. His heart suddenly hurt. Before he could walk over, he heard a fierce voice in his ears. Dead scumbag, get out, we don't welcome you in our dormitory. Li Yuan's eyes turned cold, and he followed the voice and saw Shenziu who was mocking and yelling at him. He had a very bad impression of Shenziu. He had mentioned it to Xia's Haijin some time ago. Xia's Haijin was also very well behaved and obedient, so he rarely walked with Shenziu. Li Yuan glared at Shenziu and was too lazy to pay attention to her. He thought he respected her by saying one more word to her. Li Yuan walked to Xia's Haijin's side. Looking at her helpless appearance, he was distressed and just wanted to hug her, but he saw a figure suddenly appeared in front of him and stopped him. Shenziu glared at Li Yuan and continued to mock him. You scumbag, how dare you come to seize Haijin? Get out of here as far as you can. Don't think that you can play with other people's feelings just because you have a few stinky money. Shut up, Li Yuan suddenly scolded, looking at Shenziu coldly. Is it your turn to talk about my relationship with Haijin? Who do you think you are? Shenziu was glared at by Li Yuan's oppressive eyes. She took 2 steps back and trembled slightly. It was the first time she saw Li Yuan so angry. But then, Shenziu was filled with anger. This was the girls' dormitory, her residence. Why did Li Yuan, an outsider, yell at her like this? Thinking of this, Shen 11's tone became unbearable. He took a step forward, puffed out his chest, stared at Li Yuan, and shouted.